Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. On today's show, we're going to talk about game systems. Okay, how you doing, folks? Hope you're doing well. Everything's going cool on my end of the street. Now, on today's episode, we are going to talk about this. This is a X2 Pro game stick. It's got 2.4 gigs. It's HDMI. It plugs into your HDMI on your TV. This system here has 41,829 games on this system. It plugs in, like I said, into your HDMI, and it comes with a power cord. You can either connect it to some of your TVs. You can power it through the connector on the back of your TV. If you do not have that option, you can actually use a phone jack that you use to charge your cell phone. You can actually use that and plug it into the wall and run it off wall power. Now, I got this thing. I had one, and I ordered the first one I ordered it from Temu. Could not get it to work, could not figure out what was wrong. And then when I had my little incident at work and I was off from work, I got to fiddling with it. Come to find out that the power cord they had sent me that plugs into the stick was faulty. So I changed out the cord and used a phone cord, plugged it into the system, and got it to work. And I played the fire out of it. That one had, I think it was 2,000, maybe 2,000 games on it. So then I seen this one was on sale on TikTok Shop. And I got it for, I think it was $52. By the time I paid shipping and handling, it was $52. But like I said, there is 41,829 games on this one little system. We are talking Super Nintendo, Sega, Sega X3 or whatever they called it. I can't remember how they worded it on there. The 32, Sega 32, there's Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, there's Atari, Dreamcast, PlayStation, 64. I mean, there are a ton of game systems on this thing, and I'll show you in the video. I'll go through it step by, well, not step by step, but I will show you some of the features in this clip that I'm going to load up here for you. I made the video separately because it was just easier to edit that way. But yeah, check this out. Okay, as you can see here, it's got the regular menu on it. And you've got like your list over here. You got your favorites. You got your PSP Portable, the Sega Naomi. You got your Nintendo DS. You got your Nintendo 64. You got your PlayStation, your Arcade Classics, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Sega Mega Drive, your regular Nintendo, which right up here it'll tell you it has over 3,816 games for regular Nintendo. Then you have your Game Boy Color, your Neo Geo, Sega Game Gear, that's on here too, and a Family Computer Disk System. Now I believe that's computer stuff. Then you got the Sega 32X, Sega Master System, the MXX2. You got the Lynx, the Atari 7800, the Amstrad. You have the multiple arcade machine emulators. And you have 1,969 emulators. You have the Atari 5200, the Atari 800, the Atari ST, the Atomus Wave, the C60, the Commodore 64, the Amiga, the FB Alpha, the MSX, Odyssey 2, Vectrix. You got Nintendo Hacks, and then Game Boy, Game & Watch, Virtual Boy, Neo Geo, Neo Geo Pocket, Dreamcast, Sega, Sega SG-1000, Sinclair, your 4P games, and then it goes back to the regular menu of all the games. Now, there's a total of 41,829 games on this system. Now, the cool thing about it is that when you go in, you also have a search that you can use. And you just type in what game you want, and if it's on here, it'll show up. So let's say, like, let's go in and see if we can find, Mario. See if we can look up, see if we can find a Mario game on here. Okay, there you go. You got Mario 64, Mario All Stars, Mario World. You know, and some of these, now I will say, some of these do not work. As far as like your higher gen, like your PlayStation 64, those kind of systems like that. Some of the games do not work the way they're supposed to, and there's some of them that the controller mapping is off. So not all the buttons that you're not going to use the same set of buttons as you would back in the day when you were playing it on a regular system. The button mapping is off, and sometimes there is no button mapping. I mean, I tried Operation Winback for the 64, and there's no way to make your character fire his weapon. I've pushed every single button on the controller and cannot get him to shoot his weapon. And then there's also games on here like let's see, there was Resident Evil was on here for the PlayStation, I believe. Let's look up Resident Evil real fast. Resident Evil, no, Code Veronica. I have not tried the Code Veronica yet, so I'm not sure on that one. But now, if you go down here to Resident Evil 2 on the PSX, that's your PlayStation. So we're going to, and they have the director's cut as well. So we'll go to the Resident Evil 2 PSX, and it'll load up the game. And they load pretty quickly. I don't have any problems with the loading time on them. They load really, really fast. But see, it's in a different language, so you wouldn't be able to play it unless you're fluent in that language. So, you know, there's going to be some games on here that will not, that won't show up, you know, in English. But more often than not, there are games on here that you're still going to be able to play. There's no doubt about that at all. There are so many of the Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo games on here that do work. Sega games work. The Dreamcast works. It's just little odds and ends like this. You'll run into these every once in a while that don't work properly like they're supposed to. But for the price that you pay for it, I think this one I paid like by the time shipping and handling, I think it was like $50, $51, $52. It's well worth the price that you pay. Hello, Peaches. It's well worth the price that you pay for the system itself. I mean, you pay that much just to buy one game on a game system. Just one game. And then you still have to buy downloads for it. This thing, you do not have to buy downloads for. The games are already on there. All you have to do is click and play. And if it doesn't work, just move on to another game. But more often than not, let me show you one that does work and prove to you that they work good. So let's go to, let's see, where's my favorites list? There's also a favorites list on here where you can find a game, and if you like that game, you just add it to your favorites list, and then that way you don't have to hunt it every time you go to play it. So let's check out my favorites list here. So let's go see, there's Mortal Kombat, there's James Bond games on here, there's wrestling games, there's GoldenEye, there's Killer Instinct, there's Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness is on here, Rampage World Tour, Scooby-Doo, which is my favorite, Scooby-Doo, Spider-Man games. So let's go to, let's see, there's Outrun, Afterburner, Aladdin, Bloody Roar for PlayStation. There's Clock Tower 1 and 2. Those games are fun. Dino Crisis. Let's go to let's see. Where's an old game? We want an old play game. There's more Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There's more Mortal Kombat's on here. Now this Ninja Gaiden, that is an actual arcade game that I used to play as a kid. I don't know if any of y'all remember it. I think it was L.A. Joe's that used to be here next to Kroger's. They used to have that arcade game in there, and I would go in there quarter, 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 quarter. I'd spend a lot of time playing that game, and I thought it was just so much fun to play it. There's Side Pocket for Super Nintendo if you like to play pool games. Sunset Riders, Double Dragon. I mean, there are a ton of games on here for you to play. Um, Here we go. Let's do Tetris for Super Nintendo. Loads right up. I love this game. This game is like so much fun. I used to hate it when I was a kid growing up. I didn't like it at all. But it's a lot of fun to play. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Okay, move it left, right, rotate it. I mean, this is nostalgia right here for me. Okay, and I'm sure it would be for a lot of you other folks too. Um, these games are a lot of fun. So let's see, that one works. And you can exit out at any time. It's got two buttons here on the controller. You hit these two buttons simultaneously right here, and it brings up this menu. Now, in this menu, you can either choose to resume the game, you can restart it, you can even save. There's save slots on here so you can save the game. And there's also cheats. You can look up and see if there's any cheats for the game that you can click on and use if you want to use cheats. And then you go down here to close content, hit the button, and it takes you back out of that game and reloads the menu screen. So then you can go in and just pick another game. Let's go down here to, let's try, well, do I have a Mario on here? Let's go back to the menu here. And let's go and look for Super Mario. Now you cannot put spaces in there. Super Mario Brothers. It's Super Mario Brothers for Super Nintendo. There it is. Classic Mario. I'm terrible with this because I'm just now trying to get back used to playing the old school games. But yeah, I mean, these things, there is a ton. Oops. There's a ton of games on here that you can play. It's fantastic. I love it. Super fun, super nostalgia. As you can see, I still suck. But yeah, there's a ton of games on here, like I said. And then it'll reload the menu screen. But yeah, there you go. I mean, there's 3,842 Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo games on here. And I mean, it's divided up so nicely. Sometimes you'll see ones that'll come up over here that don't have a picture. That's okay. It's probably, it may be an emulator or something like that, but it will load. So let me show you that'll load. WCW World Championship Wrestling for Nintendo. Loved playing this game as a kid. This was back when wrestling was hot, back in the 80s. Hello, Peaches. Peaches is making her appearance all over again. Hi, sweetheart. Come on, get down. So we just push start. And there you go. It goes right into the game. So cool. So cool. So much nostalgia. So much nostalgia. Single player, all that. Some of them, there are 2-player games on here. You kind of have to work with them a little bit, to find out which ones are which. But there are some 2-player games on here. But yeah, this is a great system. I've had a lot of fun with it. Since I've got this system, to be honest with you, I have not turned on my Xbox XS in probably about 2 months. It's been that long since I've had it on. I think I turned it on the other night to do updates, and it took like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours for it to update some of the games that was on it. I don't know why. Maybe my internet is just so daggum slow. But anyways, there you go. This is the best game system value wise. Um, to me, I mean, come on. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get all these games on a new generation console. There's no way. Unless you go back and you have to rebuy all over again. You know, you're going to have to pay $60, $70 for the game when they refurbish it and put it back out. At least 20, anywhere from $20 to $70, when you can just pay $50 and have 41,829 games. Let me tilt that up there so you can see it. Right there. 41,829 games on one system for $52. Now, I ordered this off a TikTok shop. I'm pretty sure if you go to like Amazon or one of those other places like that, it may be a little more expensive. Maybe not. But I'm telling you, these things are awesome. They are well worth the money spent. Okay, so there are a ton of games on this system. Like I said several times already, there's over 41,000 games on this thing. Like I said, there are some games on there that you'll run into that are either in a different language, or maybe the button configuration is off, or you can't find the right button to get it to do what you want it to do. But that's very few and far between on this system, I'm telling you. There are so many different games on this system to play. You're bound to find something that you're going to get some enjoyment out of, no matter what. Like I said, I showed you in the video, there's Atari on here, there's Sega Dreamcast, there's Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, PlayStation, Atari, 2600, 7800, Game Gear, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. There's a ton of games on this thing that you can play. Seriously. Now, I would rather go out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my PlayStation 3. I've still got one of those. I like my Xbox 360. I like my Xbox XS. But I'm telling you, $60, $70 just for a daggum game to pre-order a game is getting ridiculous. Plus, you got to turn around and buy all the updates, the downloads. You know, the DLCs. They come out with DLCs all the time. Some of them you got to pay for. So you're continuously forking out money for these games. This thing right here, $52. That was it. One time deal, $52. Play to your heart's content. You know, I love playing retro games. I love playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So that was a big win for me right there. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. I like playing the next gen systems, but sometimes it's better. The retro is better. Retro is just so much more fun. The games are so much better to play. They're not as intricate, and that kind of. I mean, they're challenging, but they're not as intricate as some of the new games that have come out. Which that's fine. I mean, yeah, it's an updated system. You got to have a different challenge. But these games are just the retro games are just so much fun. So much fun to play. So for my money, it was worth the money I paid. It really was. It gave me a whole lot of different stuff to figure to play, and some of those games I've never even heard of before. I'm constantly finding games that I've never heard of, and I play them to try them out, and a lot of them I like. I've really enjoyed playing them. So for the money I paid for it, this system is well worth it. Now like I said, there was one that I had originally got from Temu that I had to do some contankering with to get it to work properly. But once I got it to work, I enjoyed it. There was some games that wouldn't even load on that thing to play, but there were still other games that did work that was well worth the money to play. Um, I think in that video I just showed you, there was a Ninja Gaiden game that was an arcade game. That game was on the system that I had that I bought from Temu, and I loved playing that thing. But it had its issues with some of the other games that was on it. Just like this one does. This one's no different. This one has some issues with some games that do not either they don't load, or like I said, they're in a different language, or the controllers are off, the control mapping is off. But there are so many other games on this thing, you're bound to find something that you're going to get some joy out of. I'm telling you. So now, uh, that being said, we're going to move on to uh, the scheduling for the videos. Um, right now, it was on Mondays and Saturdays. I believe for right now, I'm going to leave it that way. I'm going to wait another week and see what plays out. Um, if I have to move Monday's video to later in the week, like I did this time, I will post a message in the community tab so you will know that it's going to be moved, and I will move it to whatever day I can get it done, and I will absolutely have it up by that day. Um, if I can keep it on Mondays, I will. If I can't and I have to change it, I will pick another day and let you know when I do that. But for right now, um, Supernatural Saturday is still a go. I may have to move it, but I'm not sure just yet. So give me another week or two, and we'll sort that out. But for right now, Supernatural Saturday is a lock right now. But the weekly video, the Monday through Friday video, it may move from time to time. But I will let you know in advance. So with that being said, Saturday, Supernatural Saturday, please tune in, join us. We have a lot of fun discussing the episodes. We're getting closer and closer to the season 2 finale, which I'm highly excited to talk about. Like I said in the last video, highly excited to discuss this season's finale when we get to it. We still got, I think we have like 2 more episodes. We got 1 more week, and not this Saturday, but next Saturday will be the season finale. But tune in Saturday for that. I hope you enjoyed this video today. I will let you know if anything changes for next week's video in the community tab. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of content, go ahead and join the Mafia event, the Entertainment Mafia family. Jump on in with us and join us on Saturday for Supernatural Saturday and join the Supernatural fam. Just come on in and join us whenever you want. We're always here. Thank you so much for watching. See you Saturday.